Hey community, it's Marty from Greater Rock Fitness and Fact TV. I'm hanging out here at Main Street Arts with Cass Morgan, the creative genius behind Main Street Arts' newest production called Charles Henry's Final Curtain. And coincidentally, we happen to be in front of the Grand Drape, which was that his final curtain or just that was?
We actually don't know which curtain he painted last, but most of the theaters and halls where he made curtains would have some version of this. So it would be what hangs like it is now, right at the edge of the proscenium, to be pretty, to be used during meetings or weddings or whatever took place. So he would have painted one like this for lots of different places.
So who was Charles Henry?
Charles Henry was born in Guilford, and he was an itinerant scenic artist, actor, musician, writer, vaudevillian.
Kind of like the local Vermonter now.
You gotta have 5 jobs, exactly. And he had a lot of them. He kind of created himself. He was self-taught, and he, somewhere along the line, he married a woman named Martha, who he met growing up in high school when he was doing theater as a kid, and he kind of just fell into it. He had a natural affinity and created a lifestyle and a world for himself here in Vermont. And he traveled all over and created these curtains for dozens of halls. They have them in Guilford, in the Grange Hall there. They have them in Sudbury. They have them in Virgins. They have them everywhere.
But Main Street Arts has a particularly large collection, don't they?
We do. We actually have the most in the state, and kind of by default, the most in the country.
Awesome.
Because it's a very much of a New England thing, and specifically this part of New England.
So what about these curtains and what about Charles Henry's tale inspired you to create this play?
When I first learned about Charles, I was talking with a couple of Main Street Arts board members and about the 5 Seasons project and the new curtains that the local artists were doing, Eric Aho, Donald Saff, a whole bunch of Michelle Rattay, wonderful Vermont artists. And they kind of alluded to this guy, and it just jumped out at me as a Vermonter who was a vaudevillian, who wrote his own shows, who painted his own scenery, who put on shows with his family and traveled around. I just thought, wait, that's a play.
That just screams.
That screams out. Give me a pen. I just have to write it down, and boom, you know.
And you have a little background in playwriting, a little bit.
A little bit. I would say more as an actress and a performer, but yeah, I was involved with the creating of a show called Pump Boys and Dinettes that has had a very healthy life all around the country and the world, actually. And but that was different. We were a collective. There were 6 of us who hung out together and who created the piece together and performed it together. But then I've always been a songwriter, and just when I was a kid, taught myself on the guitar. And so in more recent history, I've focused more on actually sitting down to write a show. And did one at Weston a couple of years ago called The Road to Where, that I performed in. And this is the first time I've ever written anything that I'm not in.
Oh, I thought you were in it. I didn't know.
No. The role that I would play is being played by the wonderful Libby McCauley. So
a well-known Main Street.
Yeah. I just thought what a beautiful experience this would be to have a show. It's set right here in this space, in the Oddfellows Lodge, which it was and still is, for the community theater group to have an original piece written for them to do, celebrating their history and culture. So that's how it came about.
That's awesome. So if you're interested and you want to know more about Charles Henry and his final curtain, then please come to Main Street Arts November 9th, 10th, 16th, and 17th. This play starts at 7:30.
And also...
Oh, whoops. And November 18th, November 11th and 18th. Don't worry, we're going to show you a picture of this so it'll be clear. If you need tickets, get to mainstreetarts.org and come and support Charles Henry's final curtain. Thanks so much, Cass.
Thank you, Marty.
We're travelers, we bring our show through wind and rain. heat and snow, the